Jashell Johnson. Okay, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Senator Olston, Representative Walker, honorable members of the Appropriations Committee. Sorry about being late. My name is Jashell Johnson. I am a personal care attendant, PCA if you will. I've been a PCA for about 9 months. And in those 9 months, my life has been turned upside down since taking this job, unfortunately. And it has nothing to do with the demands of the job itself. I've always helped to care for family members. Compassion, desire to help others have always come naturally to me. This work felt like the right step. It felt like the right fit for me, if you will. So did my consumer. She is, unfortunately, a 2-time breast cancer survivor and a 2-time lung cancer survivor. At 78 years old, she is still going strong. And she is also diabetic. Yet every single day she shows up and fights through adversity and does it with a smile. And I know her own personal story. She's been surviving on her own since she was 14 years old. But in my 9 months as a PCA, I have struggled multiple times just to get paid. At first, GT Independents told me they did not have the proper paperwork for my consumer, so my hours were not approved. But then I was also still told to keep working. Then I was told by the Department of Social Services that all the paperwork was in order and that GTI was making the mistakes. Then it became a game of back and forth. Back and forth it went, with each side blaming the other and no one fixing the actual problem. As a result, I went nearly 3 months without pay. After just catching up and finding some balance in my life. Could you survive without being paid for 3 months during the holiday season? Try being 28 years old, living on your own since I was 16, mind you. Paying for your first apartment with friends, then the paychecks just stopped. No warning, no heads up, nothing. It was absolutely devastating. It is impossible to stay afloat like that. You do not have the significant savings and couldn't even start if you wanted to. Family helps when they can, but there is only so much they can do. One roommate was laid off because the holiday season was coming and going. Another was diagnosed with an illness, MS, that prevented her from working. We lost our apartment and all 5 of us quickly became homeless. The youngest of us being only 23 years old. It was preventable if I had been paid. I may have been able to support my friends and myself who fell on hard times. But because GTI didn't do its job, 5 young adults just getting their starts were all forced out into the streets. Personally, me and one of my roommates who was homeless was living on the train tracks in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Taking shifts and sleeping just so we could watch each other's backs. Some were forced out into the streets and some were forced to go out into the streets and back to their parents' homes. Personally, I didn't have a place to go. I didn't have that option. Instead, I bounced from place to place, couch to couch, but you can only do that for so long. Still, I persevered. Through all of this, I continue to show up for my consumer because she depends on me. Every single week, I pushed and pushed for the paychecks, and I not only needed but earned. It took months, literal months, to finally restore my pay, but I still have never been paid for all that time. For those 3 months, I was going unpaid. The paperwork issues that caused the delay were proven not to be the issues at all. The paperwork had always been there, and I personally had filled out and handed that paperwork in 5 times. In the end, the only people who suffered were me and my consumer, even though we did everything right. Enough is enough, and please hold DSS and GTI accountable for their mistakes. Make DSS provide a payroll system that works, one that pays us every single week without endless phone calls, emails, and grievances that never get answered. Increase DSS funding, but make sure it is spent on programs that truly support the workers and families who depend on them. Because caregivers have suffered long enough at the hands of DSS and GTI, I think we all just need some justice. Thank you for listening. I'm happy to answer any additional questions.
Thank you very much.